Hello, good morning. This is our math review before we take our quiz soon. We've been working on story problems with basic multiplication and division facts. So, we are going to review this page today. Hopefully you are already here. If not, you need to pause the video, go grab your book, come back and be prepared. So first, I always recommend, if you are unsure of how to solve some problems, these examples at the top are really, really good help, okay? So let's go through this real quick and then we'll start on number 18 down beneath it. All right, the example says, Karina is 6 feet tall. Her cousin is 3 feet tall. How many times as tall as her cousin is Karina? So, we knew that Karina's cousin was 3 feet tall. So we have one box with a 3. We knew that Karina was 6 feet tall. So we knew that we needed 6 down beneath. And we didn't know how many times taller she was. So we have an equation below. Blank times 3 equals 6. Well, we know that 2 times 3 equals 6. So Karina is 2 times as tall as her cousin. We know that because 3 times 2 would be 6. All right? So that is a bar diagram. So anytime they ask you to draw one of those, that is what they want you to draw. So we will practice that together. Let me go and scroll down my page. All right. Our first practice question together says, a small shrimp taco has 5 shrimp. There are 3 times as many shrimp in a large taco. How many shrimp are in a large taco? Write and solve an equation to find the answer. All right, we need to mark up our question to make sure we don't lose any important information. So usually I'd call on you to help me out. So if you know important information, go ahead and underline it. But we know for sure the small shrimp taco has 5 shrimp. That is something we need to know. There are 3 times as many shrimp in a large taco. 3 times as many in the large taco. How many shrimp are in a large taco? That's our question. I'm going to put it in a box. And they want us to write, first thing, and solve, second thing, an equation to find the answer. All right, so we have a few jobs to do. So first, we know that a small shrimp taco has 5 shrimp, okay? So I will write small here, and it's a single box, and it has 5 shrimp, okay? We know that is true about the small taco. All right, the large taco, we don't know how many there are, but there are 3 times as many shrimp. So how many boxes do we need next to our large taco? Hopefully you're saying 3 for 3 times as many. All right. Now we need to know how many shrimp are in the large taco. All right? Now, if there is a 5 in this small box, we know that the same 5 needs to belong in all of these boxes. So, we can place our 5s. All right. So we have our bar model, which they didn't actually ask us to draw, but I wanted to practice with you. They asked us to write and solve an equation to find the answer. All right, an equation, we know it just means that both sides of my equal sign have to balance or be the same value. Okay, that's what an equal sign means. So, I know that my equation will look something like this. You can put a question mark in a box if you want to write your equation. But the older you get, they're going to ask you to use a variable. And that's what this is. A variable is something that just fills in for an unknown number. We don't know what it is yet. You could also use a letter. So however you do it, both of these equations are fine, but we have an unknown variable. Whether you use a box, a question mark, or a letter, we need to solve for whichever is missing. So my equation is 5 times 3 equals A, and the solution, A equals 15. 5 times 3 is 15. All right, now should I put a label on that answer? I'm hoping you say yes, okay? And if I check my question, how many shrimp are in a large taco? 15 shrimp. All right, nice job. Hopefully you're all able to follow that one. I'm going to erase this quickly and scroll up the page. You can go ahead and start looking at the next problem while you're waiting. Start underlining your important information. All right, our next problem, number 19. Whoop. Now, sometimes these guys over here do have important things to say, and right now he says, I think this problem has more than one step. So we might want to remember that so we don't miss, okay? Christina read 7 pages in a magazine. She read 5 times as many pages in a book. How many pages did Christina read altogether? All right, well, the important stuff first. She read 7 pages in a magazine, and then 5 times as many pages in a book. And my question wants to know how many pages she read all together. So this is 2 steps. My first step, and you don't have to write this, but first, we need to know how many pages she read in that book. We don't know yet. So that's the first question I need to answer. How many pages in her book? And then second, once we know that, can I add the number of pages she read in the book to the number of pages she read in the magazine to find how many pages she read altogether? We sure can. So our second step will be how many pages altogether. All right, so we have 2 questions to answer. All right, first thing, I would recommend that you draw a bar model. We know she read 7 pages in a magazine. So I'm going to use an M for magazine and a B for book. So magazine, she read just 7 pages. That's it. How many times more did she read in her book? Hopefully you're thinking 5. She read 5 times as many pages in a book. So our book needs to be 5 times bigger than the box for the magazine. And we know that whatever digit is in our single box on a bar model needs to be in each box below. So fill this in with all 7s. And then we know at the bottom here we can figure out how many pages she did read in her book. And we know this is going to be 5 groups of 7, which I know is 35 because I know my 7s. If you're still unsure about your 7s, you got to keep working on them. All right, so are we done? Is 35 my answer? I hope you're thinking, no, Mrs. Hare. It's more than one step. We only answered the first question. So now we know how many pages she read in the magazine. We know how many pages she read in the book. And our final answer needs to be how many pages she read all together. So the last math operation we will need to do will be to add the number of pages in the book to the number of pages in our magazine. So you can write your addition problem right over to the side. 35 plus 7. And you can check my work. I got 42 pages total. So hopefully you're all able to give me thumbs ups at home. I can't see ya. All right, so then down here on our solution, we know Christina read. She read 42 pages altogether. All right, I will leave that up there for just a moment. Remember, on multi-step questions, if you know you have more than one step, sometimes it might help you. You don't have to write it like I did, but you can at least write down how many steps you have and check them off as you go. It's more about staying organized and working your way all the way through the problem. All right, I'm going to go scroll up to our last question. Our last problem today is number 20, and this is a multiple choice problem. My first caution, when you see a multiple choice problem, you shouldn't think, ooh, easier problem. You should still do work over here, okay? Multiple choice doesn't mean you just guess wildly. You still find your answer like normal, then you check these answers to make sure yours matches one, okay? That's how you should always solve these. So, Ada swam 7 laps in a pool. Kaya swam 28 laps. How many times the number of laps Ada swam did Kaya swim? Circle the letter of the correct answer. All right, well, I think we ought to probably make some sort of a bar model. All right, Ada, so we can use an A for Ada and a K for Kaya. Ada swam 7 laps. All right, we know Kaya swam more. She swam 28 laps. So she's got more laps. I don't know by how many, but she swam 28 laps. You know, I forgot to underline our important stuff, so there's those 2 bits. How many times the number of laps Ada swam did Kaya swim? So, I need to know how many groups of 7 go into 28. How many groups of 7 go into 28? So this is a division problem. So I'll put this over here. We have 28 laps divided into groups of 7. Which should be 4. 4 times 7 is 28. So now I can finish my model. I know that if I have 4 groups in here of 7, I can check my work. 4 times 7 is 28. She swam 4 times more laps than Ada. All right, hopefully this is making sense to you. All right, but now it's time for us to be the teacher because someone, J-Ho, chose the wrong answer, okay? He chose D as the correct answer. So he said 196. How in the world did he get that answer? I'm going to give you a minute to think about it, okay? So you're pretending to be the teacher. Pretend J-Ho is your student, and he just circled 196, and you are the teacher. You have to give him feedback. How did he get such a large number? I'm thinking when I multiply, I get big numbers. When I divide, I typically get smaller numbers. So maybe he picked the wrong operation. Do you think it's possible that instead of dividing, he multiplied 28 times 7? That's what I'm thinking. I'm going to check my idea, okay? To check my idea, I need to see if 28 times 7 is 196. So I'm going to set that up right over here. 28 times 7. So this is good review of our multiplication. Okay, remember, if you need to draw that turtle head, we start with the number in the neck. 7 times 8 is 56. Put my 5 on top. My ones place can come below. Back to the number in the neck. 7 times 2 is 14, but we have to add this 5. So 14 plus 5 more would be 19. And we do indeed find out that that is what J-Ho did. Instead of dividing 28 by 7 to get 4, he multiplied the numbers to get 196. So now we need to use our words to explain that, okay? So I am going to restate the question. How did you get that answer? J-Ho got that answer because he multiplied 28 times 7 instead of dividing 28 divided by 7. So why did he get that answer? J-Ho got that answer because he multiplied 28 times 7 instead of dividing 28 divided by 7. Let me erase this so you can see better. If you have any questions on math, remember you can always send me a question email. Just say, hey, Mrs. Hare, I'm struggling on this specific problem. It helps me out if you tell me a problem in advance that's causing you trouble. That way when I meet with you or talk with you, I can be prepared, okay? All right, so remember, if you get confused, go back through. You have your instruction books at home. You can reread lessons and do your best to understand it. Always read your examples as well. All right. Well, thank you all. That does it for math today. I will see you tomorrow.